Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I bow to the great Mahavatar Babaji, to Lahiri Mahasaya, Swami Shri Yukteswar Giri, and my own Guru Paramhansa Yogananda, to the saints and sages of all religions, and to my divine friend and guide, Swami Kriyananda. Namaste, friends. I welcome you from India. This is my visit to India after 3 long years because, as you all know, we have all been in this flux with the pandemic for the last few years. And as some of you might remember, I posted some videos a couple of years ago, rather 3 years ago exactly, when I was in Badrinath and I was hiking in the Himalayas. And after 3 long years, I am back in India again on a very sacred pilgrimage with some of my friends from Palo Alto. So I'll be taking you along with me on this journey, sharing more with you about the sacred places I'm visiting, sharing footage from all these beautiful sacred sites so that you can also tune in and perhaps come along with me. Of course, by the time I post this, I would have probably already returned back, but still, you can go on this virtual pilgrimage with me as we visit these wonderful, wonderful places. Right now, I'm speaking to you from a very small village in the northern part of India. It's called Kukuchina. This is at the base of Babaji's cave, what is often referred to as Babaji's cave. Actually, I'm literally standing almost at the trailhead of the cave. The resort where I'm staying is called Vanaprastha. I'll tell you more about it just in a bit. This resort is constructed. It's very new. It's perhaps been open just for a couple of months. I'm so glad to be staying here. It's constructed just at the trailhead. The last 3 kilometers of the drive leading up to this point was so bumpy, it was almost as if the road did not exist. And because we are already halfway into the trail leading up to Babaji's cave, and I'll share all of that with you as we start hiking today. We reached here last evening. This place is about a couple of hours north of, I don't know exactly north, but couple of hours from Ranikhet, which is a hill station in India. If you remember from the Autobiography of a Yogi, Lahiri Mahasaya was posted in Ranikhet. He was transferred to this particular place in India. He was living in Banaras or Varanasi at that time. And Babaji sends a telegram to his officials, and then he gets transferred to this place, and he was in Ranikhet. And he was exploring, and one of these days he wanders into the mountains looking for holy men, and he was called in that way. Then he meets Babaji and he gets initiated into Kriya Yoga, and that's why we're all talking about this here today now, and that's why all of us were drawn to this particular teaching. That's why Yogananda came to the West. Everything started in the year 1861, right where I'm standing. This place right here is perhaps in the trail where Lahiri Mahasaya walked from Ranikhet. Often we drive from this village called Dwarahat, that's on that particular side, and we come through that way to Babaji's cave. Whereas during Lahiri Mahasaya's time, that particular path or that direction did not exist, or those places did not exist at that time in 1861. Most likely, or rather, as people have figured out, Lahiri Mahasaya came from this direction, which is where Ranikhet is. Ranikhet, as I was saying, is a small hill town where he was posted. And the people that run this resort, that own this place, are actually devotees and Kriya Bans who are disciples of Yogananda, and they were sharing a lot of stories with me yesterday. The man who runs this place, he was telling me about 10 years ago, during the 150th anniversary of Lahiri Mahasaya being initiated into Kriya Yoga, they did a very sacred pilgrimage starting from Ranikhet at the exact site where they believe Lahiri Mahasaya worked in the year 1861, and they walked all the way through the forest. It's about a 45-kilometer walk up to this point, crossing over and going to Babaji's cave. I'll be taking you along with me, and we will see that path and all of that just in a bit. But I just wanted to also tell you that all of these places from the year 1861 still exist, and they're so beautiful. It's very sacred. As you can see, obviously the hills and even the air here is so crisp and pure. We are right in the middle of the forest here in this resort. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. It was a little hot to get here, but then once we got here, we were just thrilled to be staying here for the next couple of days and to be soaking in these vibrations. I'll be taking you along to Babaji's cave, or perhaps it's more accurate to call it Lahiri Mahasaya's cave, because as Yogananda ji describes in the Autobiography, this is where Larry Mahasaya spent time and meditated for many lifetimes in his past. So he again renews that commitment, and Babaji invites him there. And all those stories, I'm sure most of you know, we'll share bits and pieces of it as I go along. But I look forward to sharing this journey with you. After this particular location, we'll go to other places. So I'll see you again as we walk this trail today and we see the various spots where Larry Mahasaya stopped, different things that happened on the way, and we'll also visit the exact cave where Larry Mahasaya met Babaji, his meditation cave where he was initiated. So I'll see you soon again. Now I'll show you some snippets from the trail so you can see what it is like. As you can see, the trail is very well marked and it is quite easy. In fact, most of it is paved, so anybody can do this hike. Even if you're not very strong or consider yourself to be a hiker, you can still do this hike. It might just take you a little bit longer, also because it is at a higher altitude. Because we were staying so close to the trailhead, it took us about 50 minutes or an hour to reach the cave. If you parked on the main road, it might take you an hour or 90 minutes, or at the most 2 hours to reach the top of the cave. It is really not that hard of a hike. And throughout the hike, you can mostly hear the Gogash River making its sound as you were walking, and you also get to cross it a few times. And even the vistas are very beautiful. You can see far off mountains. This mountain itself is called Dunagiri or Dronagiri. That's where the cave is located. It is a very sacred mountain visited by the Pandavas where they did penance. There is a place at the top of the mountain that you can also visit where the Pandavas are said to have performed penance when they were actually living in the forest in the story of the Mahabharata. And in this next section, the audio clarity is not very good because the sound of the river is quite loud, so I apologize for that.
Hello friends, as you can see this is a beautiful spot in the Gagash river. The river is flowing behind me. There's a beautiful waterfall here, and this river is very special. In Bengali they call it Gagash. That's how Master describes it in the Autobiography of a Yogi. I don't know what that means. If any of you know, please do let me know. This is a very special river because, as you might have read in the Autobiography of a Yogi, Larry Mahasaya, when he met Babaji, Babaji asked him to purify himself. He gave him some oil to drink, some sacred oil, which obviously we don't have now, but he also asked him to wash himself in the waters of the Gogash river. So, as we were climbing just a couple of minutes ago, I washed myself in the waters of this river, as so did a few others who came along with me. It was very special. It's not that cold, it is okay. And it was just beautiful just being able to go through that process of purification as we are going up towards Babaji's cave.
As you can see, this is the entryway to the cave. There has been quite some construction that has been done here by Yogoda Satsang Society, and they have put a gate there to lock at night to prevent wild animals from taking residence there. Otherwise, it's open during the day. Right now, I'm sitting right outside Babaji's cave, as you've been seeing the trail and the beautiful path leading up to here. This is exactly where Larry Mahasaya walked in the summer of 1861, and this cave right here is the birthplace of Kriya Yoga, the first time Babaji initiated Larry Mahasaya. I'll also show you the place, the meadow where the golden palace was materialized, and this is where Babaji asked Larry Mahasaya to be purified with the oil that he gave him to drink and to wash himself in the Gogash river, as we already saw, and he materialized the golden palace. This is a very, very special place. All of us who came here today, we had such a profound time. We also met many other pilgrims that came here, and we were able to share some chanting together. I invite all of you to come here if you can. You can see the inside of the cave. It is dark. It is also often wet. The deepness is palpable. You can feel the presence of the Gurus. Larry Mahasaya, it says in the Autobiography of a Yogi, he meditated in this cave for many, many lifetimes, and Babaji protected this particular cave with his meditation seat and all of his apparatus, again, for many, many centuries perhaps, waiting for that meeting in 1861 where he could give the teachings of Kriya Yoga again to share with this world. All of us today that are drawn to these teachings of Yogananda, that are watching this, if you're hearing this and watching this, perhaps you're touched in some way. It is all because of that one meeting that Babaji had with Larry Mahasaya. These great masters, they come find us And that particular section of the autobiography of Yogi is such a beautiful testimony where Babaji tells Larry Mahasaya he has been watching him, guiding every step of his life and sending that telegram to his officer, inviting him to be transferred to Ranikhet, and then Larry Mahasaya wandering, as if for no reason, but we all know why. Babaji was speaking to him, the silent voice of Babaji was guiding Larry Marcia to this mountain, to this exact spot where he could meet him in this particular cave. So, thank you for coming along with this journey and hope you felt uplifted, inspired, just as we all are. We just finished a wonderful meditation in this cave, and this place, the stillness, the beauty, and just the presence of the Masters, the sacredness of this land cannot be overstated. So, hopefully, you all can visit this place someday. What you're looking at right now is the meadow where Babaji originally materialized the Golden Palace for Lahiri Mahasaya. This is just a few hundred feet away from the cave, and Yogoda Satsang Society has built a Smriti Mandir here, another location where you can sit and meditate. Now, I will share a short snippet of our group from California chanting along with other devotees from Yogoda Satsang Society from various parts of India who were also visiting Babaji's cave on the same day. We all met there and we immediately connected with each other and we rejoiced in our shared devotion for Yogananda and these line of gurus. So hope you can feel that too as you enjoy this chant.
In the forest thou art green, in the mountains thou art high, in the mountains thou art high, in the river thou art restless, in the river thou art restless, in the ocean thou art grave, in the ocean thou art grave. Oh God beautiful, oh God beautiful, oh God beautiful, oh God beautiful. At thy feet, oh I do bow, at thy feet, oh I do bow. Oh God beautiful, oh God beautiful, oh God beautiful, oh God beautiful. To the serviceful thou art service, to the serviceful thou art service, to the lover thou art love, to the lover thou art love, to the sorrowful thou art sympathy, to the sorrowful thou art sympathy, to the yogi thou art bliss, to the yogi thou art bliss. Oh God beautiful, oh God beautiful, oh God beautiful, oh